Hello, everyone. Welcome to the serial lectures on traditional Chinese culture. Today, we will talk about porcelain, the calling card of Chinese culture. Bronzeware, pottery, and porcelain are all popular with Chinese people. However, their styles vary widely. Bronzeware suggests solemnity. It is solemn, majestic, grave, and imposing. Pottery is simple and unsophisticated, coarse and rough. Porcelain is the most exquisite, delicate, and elegant. Porcelain is also called fine china. It features delicate texture, pleasing color, and a refined sculpture. It has been one of the earliest artworks introduced to the Western world through the Silk Road. The Marine Silk Road is the ceramic road. China is the hometown of China. In English, the country China and porcelain China share the same word. That's the Chinese vogue. The invention of porcelain is a great contribution of the Chinese people to the world civilization. Shall we explore the differences between pottery and porcelain? Chinese ceramics consist of two types, pottery and porcelain. Pottery is coarse and rough, while porcelain or china is fine, delicate, glassy, and slippery. The differences between pottery and porcelain lie in three aspects: raw material, temperature for firing, and glaze. The raw material for making pottery is the common clay, while the raw material for firing porcelain is the kaolin clay, which is white, fine, and soft, like the China clay produced near Jingdezhen. The temperature for firing pottery is lower, around 800 degrees centigrade, while the temperature for firing porcelain is around 1200 degrees Celsius. As far as glaze is concerned, for pottery, some are glazed, some are not glazed. All porcelain are glazed. Here we can see the tricolored glazed pottery and the color glazed porcelain. Shall we come to the procedures to go through in porcelain making? There are 4 steps: forming, decoration, glazing, and firing. The order of decoration and glazing is interchangeable. The first step is forming. First, the potter shapes the pottery on a potter's wheel. It is not an easy job. The potter pulls the clay upwards and outwards into the required shape. Here we can see the deft hands of potters. The order of decoration and glazing is interchangeable. Porcelain wares may be decorated under the glaze using pigments, like blue and white porcelain, underglazed red. They may also be decorated over the glaze using pigments or colored enamels, such as famille rose, enamel-painted porcelain. How to distinguish between underglazed ware and overglazed ware? Just touch the surface and feel. If the surface feels smooth and even, that's underglazed porcelain. If the surface feels uneven and rough, and there is a concave, convex feeling, then it's overglazed porcelain. Glazing is an indispensable step. Porcelain wares do not need glazing to render them impermeable to liquids. For the most part, they are glazed for decoration and dirt resistance. Glazing is also aimed for protection. We may dip the clay bowl into the glaze or spray glaze onto the clay bottom. We may also paint the surface with glaze. The fourth step is firing. In this process, green or unfired ceramic wares are heated in a kiln to permanently set their shapes. Porcelain is fired at a higher temperature than earthenware because of the chemical changes that take place during the firing process. To be specific, for underglazed ware, the procedures go like this: forming, decoration, glazing, and firing. The underglazed ware is fired once in high temperature. For overglazed ware, the firing process can go like this: forming, glazing, decoration, and firing in high temperature. However, in many cases, overglazed ware is fired twice. Decorate the ready-made porcelain and fire it for the second time in low temperature to create the concave convex effect. Now, shall we probe into the history of ceramics? Pottery is the crystallization of mud and fire. Pottery is the predecessor of porcelain, especially the glazed or colored pottery. During the Neolithic period, 8,000 years ago, Chinese people began making earthenware with clay. We had a variety of ancient cultures. The ancient culture was named after the place where it was first discovered. Here are some renowned ancient cultures. Red pottery of Celadon culture, Hebei Province, 8,000 years ago. Colored pottery of Yangshao culture, first discovered in Henan Province, centered in Shanxi Province, 7,000 years ago. Eggshell black pottery of Longshan culture, Shandong Province, 6,000 years ago. White pottery of Dawenkou culture, Shandong Province, 6,000 years ago. Here is the red pottery jar of Celadon culture. Celadon culture of the Neolithic Age, 8,000 years ago, was first discovered in Celadon, Hebei Province. The jar looks coarse and rough. The sandy terracotta is heat resistant. The jar is probably the cooking utensil used to contain soup or rice. It is now on show in Palace Museum. The colored pottery basin was in the pattern of human face and fish body. It was unearthed in Banpo ruin of the Neolithic Age, Shanxi Province. The pattern consists of two parts, human face and fish body, quaint and mysterious. It shows rich imagination and virtuosity of our ancestors, and early worship as well. It is now on display in China National Museum. The colored pottery of Yangshao culture was in fish pattern. Yangshao culture of the Neolithic Age was discovered in the middle reaches of the Yellow River. Have you found that the typical decorative animals are fish, deer, and frogs? All of them have a lot of seeds, being rich and fertile. Moreover, we can often see the sun and water. The sun is the symbol of man, showing masculine beauty, while the water is the symbol of woman, showing feminine beauty. Life was very hard and tough for our ancestors. Survival and reproduction were of cardinal importance. It's a kind of sex worship. It is now on display in China National Museum. Here is the colored pottery jar with whirlpool pattern. Ma Jiayao culture of the Neolithic Age 5,000 years ago was mainly discovered in Gansu Province. The painted jar is quaint and mellow. It is now on show in Gansu Museum. The yellowish-brown pottery tripod is charmingly naive. Beixing culture of the Neolithic Age 7,000 years ago was mainly distributed in the lower reaches of the Yellow River. It is now on show in Tengzhou Museum, Shandong Province. Here is the red pottery dou of Dawenkou culture, Neolithic Age. Dou looks like a goblet. The stem cup was used to store paste, sauce, pickle, and spice. It is now on show in Shandong Archaeological Academy. The white pottery gui of Dawenkou culture, Neolithic Age, is abstract and chic. It looks like a singing bird. The bird is twittering. Gui was the pitcher with 3 hollow legs used to boil water. It could also be used to store wine. It is now kept in Hebei Palace Museum. In the Shang Dynasty, early Chinese porcelain appeared. It was smooth and impervious, made of kaolin clay. The kaolin clay was white, fine, and soft. As it was still rough and coarse in the firing process, it could only be called proto-porcelain or primitive porcelain. That was the origin of porcelain. White porcelain of the Shang Dynasty was the predecessor of porcelain. It was pure and fine, with decorative pattern and exquisite workmanship. Here is the white pottery kettle of Shang Dynasty, with 2 handles and animal mask pattern. The image of Tao Tie is a legendary animal notorious for its greed for food. Tao Tie has a head with a huge mouth. It does not have a body. It is so greedy that it has even eaten its own body. It is not clear why such a strange, greedy beast was popularly used for decoration. One possible reason was probably to use its malevolent image to ward off evil. The kettle is now collected in Palace Museum. The most valuable Qing pottery is terracotta warriors and horses of the first emperor of the Qing Dynasty. Terracotta is the brownish red earthenware. The terracotta warriors and horses are life-sized, vivid and true to life. They are reputed to be the eighth wonder of the world. Some experts believe that the first true porcelain was made during the Eastern Han Dynasty. Shards or scraps were excavated from archaeological Eastern Han kiln sites. The so-called proto-porcelain or primitive porcelain was fired at high temperature using at least some kaolin clay. Proto-porcelain appeared in the Shang Dynasty and matured in the Eastern Han Dynasty. So porcelain firing technology had been improved gradually within 1,600 years. The earliest porcelain is Celadon. Celadon is the green porcelain. The original Celadon developed into mature Celadon in the Han Dynasty. Here we may appreciate two Celadon kettles of the Han Dynasty. In the Han Dynasty, the government opened the Silk Road, through which Chinese porcelain was exported to the West. From then on, China means porcelain, and China is the symbol or the calling card of China. The colored gray pottery turtle dove carrying tripods was fired in Western Han Dynasty. We can see a turtle dove spreading its wings, carrying two tripods full of delicacies. Three persons are standing at the back of the turtle dove. The man in the middle is holding an umbrella. Turtle dove is auspicious bird, implying immortality. The design was full of imagination. It is now on show in Jinan Museum, Shandong Province. The colored pottery man beating drums and singing was ingeniously fired in Eastern Han Dynasty. The statue is small in stature, with vivid facial expression and body movement, amusing and humorous. It is now on display in China National Museum. The colored pottery of the Qing Dynasty is life-size, like the terracotta warriors and horses, while that of the Han Dynasty is relatively small. The glazed pottery box has 3 sheep on the lid, fired in Eastern Han Dynasty. Now it is on display in Guangxi Museum. In the Sui and Tang Dynasties, a wide range of ceramics was produced, including the well-known tricolored glazed pottery. There was the saying, Celadon ware in the south and white porcelain in the north. Besides the secret recipe Celadon produced in the Yue kiln served as a tribute. Here we can see the colored pottery woman plucking the kong hou. The artwork was fired in the Sui Dynasty. Kong hou was an ancient musical instrument. The woman was so graceful and elegant. It is now on show in Henan Museum. The tricolored glazed pottery of the Tang Dynasty contains three main colors: yellow, green, and brown. Actually, there are more than three colors, being multicolored. Hence, the name of polychrome glazed pottery is more suitable. The pottery statues are mostly horses, camels, and human figures. The polychrome glazed camel carrying musicians was an artwork of the Tang Dynasty. Judging from the facial features of the musicians, they must have come from the West region. It is now on show in China National Museum. The tricolored glazed pottery horse is most typical. People in the Tang Dynasty had deep affection for horses. The double-fish kettle is a wine vessel. Fish is homophonic to surplus, symbolizing affluence and abundance. Here are two standing ladies. The maid is plump, with a chignon on the head. In the Tang Dynasty, being plump and fat was considered to be beautiful. The polychrome glazed standing woman of the Tang Dynasty had a graceful figure. She was aristocratic and open-minded, with plump cheeks revealing the cleavage. The statue is now on display in Shanxi Museum. There was the saying at that time, Celadon in the south and white porcelain in the north, both with single glaze. Celadon ware is green porcelain. The Celadon lotus-shaped saucer was fired in Yue kiln, Zhejiang Province, in 5 dynasties. It is now the most precious treasure of the Suzhou Museum. White porcelain is fired at high temperature. It is high-fired and translucent. The white porcelain refuse vessel with floral rim was used as a spittoon for flame. It was high-fired in the Tang Dynasty. The secret recipe Celadon was fired in Yue Kiln in Zhejiang Province. It was produced in the Tang Dynasty. It served as a tribute to the imperial court, with rare color. The green porcelain is pure and translucent, with a bluish hue. Its glaze recipe is confidential. Here we can see the saucer, bowl, and bottle. The ceramic road began in the late Tang Dynasty. It was the sea artery of Sino-foreign exchange in the medieval period. It was mainly based on porcelain trade. Some people also named the route Marine Silk Road or Indian Ocean Maritime Route. China's China was scattered along the Indian Ocean Maritime Route, like shining pearls lighting the whole of the Marine Silk Road. Ceramic road brought to China great wealth, but also opened the door for colonial plunder. Here are the scraps and shards at the seabed. Since the 18th century, Europe has begun to make porcelain. The United Kingdom, France, Germany, Russia, and other countries have established a number of senior porcelain brands, especially the United Kingdom. Here are some porcelain ware in the European style. We may appreciate the porcelain cups with alien appeal. They are exquisitely fired, really ingenious and tasteful. Song Dynasty was the booming period of porcelain making, representing the acme or climax of porcelain technique. A variety of genres appeared. Purchasing and collecting tasteful porcelain ware became a fashion. Through its implicit artistic style, one can discover the reserved Confucian aesthetics. Song Dynasty was the Renaissance period of Confucianism, advocating Neo-Confucianism, emphasizing the internal beauty. Porcelain technology had improved and matured. A clear division of labor appeared. The 5 representative kilns of that age can be arranged in the order of Ru, Guan, Ge, Jun, Ding. The 5 representative kilns of the Song Dynasty can be arranged in the order of Ru, Guan, Ge, Jun, Ding. Ru Kiln was located in Ruzhou, Henan Province, ranking the first, known for its celadon. It was an official kiln. Guan Kiln was located in Kaifeng, Henan Province, featuring Celadon. It was the official kiln. Ge Kiln was located in Longquan, Zhejiang Province, featuring crackleware. Jun Kiln was located in Yuzhou, Henan Province. Its porcelain is gorgeous and brilliant. Ding Kiln was located in Quyang, Hebei Province, famous for white porcelain. It was a folk kiln. The first two are official kilns. Ge Kiln and Jun Kiln served both the royal family and the common folk. The last is folk kiln. Ru Kiln was located in Ruzhou, Henan Province, ranking the first. It was known for its celadon. The color and texture appeared to be dainty, creamy, and unique, and could be compared with jade. Ru Kiln was an official kiln. Celadon of Ru Kiln was kept exclusively for the royal family. Common people had no right to collect it, no matter how rich they were. Ru Kiln lasted for a very short period, only about 20 years. Consequently, its celadon is very rare. Even the shards or scraps are precious and priceless. The elegant Celadon Bowl in lotus style was produced in Ru Kiln. It was used together with flagon to keep the wine warm. It was a wine warmer. Flagon is the wine pot. The bowl contains hot water. Put the flagon into the bowl in order to heat the wine. It is now kept in Taipei Palace Museum. The sky blue glazed, sunflower-shaped washer was fired in Ru Kiln in the northern Song Dynasty. It is bluish and hazy, like the sky after rain. It was auctioned at an incredibly high price in 2012. Wang Qian was located in Kaifeng, Henan Province. It was the official kiln featuring Celadon, advocating concise decorative patterns, brief and simple, yet noble and tasteful. The Celadon wares were dedicated to the imperial court for the exclusive use of the royal family. The vase with pierced handles is really decent and elegant. The Cong-shaped vase is now kept in Tokyo National Museum. Cong is a hollow piece of ancient jade with rectangular sides. The Celadon Bowl had crackles and an edge. It was fired in Wang Qian in Southern Song Dynasty. The washer with sunflower-shaped petals was fired in Wang Qian in Southern Song Dynasty. Ge Kiln, literally meaning kiln of the elder brother, was located in Longquan, Zhejiang Province. It was famous for its crackleware. Crackleware is one type of celadon with broad and fine cracks on its surface. The crackles appear as a result of the firing process, when the glaze shrinks more than the body. The potters cleverly used the crackles for a decorative effect. The cracks are irregular. The pattern is naturally produced and unpredictable, not artificial. Ge Kiln served both the royal family and the common folk. Here, the precious vase is in the shape of a gallbladder. It was fired in Ge Kiln in the Song Dynasty, now collected in Palace Museum. The bowl with octagonal rim and ring foot was produced in Ge Kiln in the Song Dynasty, now collected in Palace Museum. The Celadon five-footed washer, the crackleware, was produced in Ge Kiln in the Song Dynasty. It is now on display in Shanghai Museum. Jun Kiln was situated in Yuzhou, Henan Province. Its porcelain featured red glaze and flowing pattern, gorgeous and brilliant, rather unique. Jun Kiln served both the royal family and the common folk. The bowl in the shape of lotus leaf and the gourd-shaped vase are so tasteful and charismatic. The porcelainware fired in the Jun Kiln featured red glaze and a flowing pattern, beautiful and fantastic. The vase in globular shape is colorful and celestial. The three-footed washer was azure and bluish, fired in Jun Kiln in the Song Dynasty. It was decorated with round nails, lively and light, with exquisite craftsmanship. It is a collection of Palace Museum. Ding Kiln was located in Quyang, Hebei Province. It boasted its white porcelain, which had a texture as delicate as that of ivory. Distinctive from the other four kilns which stressed color, Ding Kiln was good at engraving floral patterns. Color was not stressed. It was a folk kiln. Here we may appreciate some white porcelain bottles. The white porcelain pillow with a child was fired in Ding Kiln in the Song Dynasty. The kid was so lively and leisurely. The image looked vivid and lifelike. People at that time liked to use porcelain pillow. They believed porcelain pillow could brighten the eyes. It is now on display in Palace Museum. The white glazed bowing bowl was fired in Ding Kiln in the Song Dynasty, with incised floral design like bas relief. The engraved lotus blossoms and leaves feature natural and flowing lines. In the Song Dynasty, there were 8 folk kilns, 4 in the north and 4 in the south, divided by the Yangtze River. The 4 folk kilns in the north included Cizhou Kiln, Yaozhou Kiln, Jun Kiln, and Ding Kiln. The 4 folk kilns in the south were namely Raozhou Kiln, Longquan Kiln, Jian Kiln, and Jizhou Kiln. For example, Jian Kiln was located in Jianyang, Fujian Province, famous for its black porcelain. The black porcelain in Jian Kiln became prominent and popular through the Song Dynasty. Black porcelain was produced from clay with a high iron content and was fired at between 1100 and 1300 degrees Celsius. It was used extensively in the production of tea set. The teacup in the pattern of hare's fur was most fascinating. Jian Kiln was originally a folk kiln, but its black teacups also served as tribute. The black porcelain teacup here was fired in Jian Kiln in the Song Dynasty. The teacup was in the pattern of hare's fur. It is now on display in Metropolitan Museum of Art in Manhattan. The teacups in the pattern of hare's fur are very unique and precious. The black glazed bottle with plum branch was fired in Jizhou Kiln in the Southern Song Dynasty. It is now on show in Jiangxi Museum. The bottle with entangled branch pattern was also fired in Jizhou Kiln in the Southern Song Dynasty. It is now on display in Nanjing Museum. Jizhou Kiln was located in Jian, Jiangxi Province, It was a folk kiln. Yaozhou Kiln was located in Tongchuan, Shanxi Province. It was the Celadon Kiln in the north, featuring olive green color and engraved floral pattern. It was a folk kiln. Here are some Celadon wares produced in Yaozhou Kiln in the Song Dynasty. Now shall we come to the Yuan Dynasty? Blue and white porcelain was well developed in the Yuan Dynasty. Stylish, artistic, and diversified, it was the mainstream of porcelain then, having epoch-making historic significance. Blue and white porcelain was produced in large quantity. The underglazed red was also fantastic. It was rather difficult to produce underglazed red. Thus, it was not as popular as the blue and white porcelain. However, it displayed a high artistic taste. The blue and white jar 鬼谷子 going downhill told the story of a legendary figure. 鬼谷子 was a strategist in the Warring States period. He was going downhill riding a carriage pulled by a tiger and a leopard. The porcelain jar was fired in the Yuan Dynasty. It was sold at about 230 million RMB at Christie's auctioneer in London in 2005. An incredible price. It is the most expensive blue and white porcelain. The plum bottle with purple spots was fired in Jun Kiln in the Yuan Dynasty. It is now on show in Hebei Museum. Plum bottle features narrow mouth, short neck, broad shoulder, thin bottom, and a ring foot, being refined and slender. It can be used as wine vessel. In the Ming Dynasty, porcelain technology continued to improve, and ceramic manufacture was greatly innovated. The kilns at Jingdezhen became the center for porcelain manufacture, exporting to Europe on an unprecedented scale. The porcelain kettle with cloud and dragon pattern was fired in Jingdezhen Kiln in the Ming Dynasty. The blue and white kettle is quaint and elegant. It is now on show in Palace Museum. During the Xuande reign, technical refinement was introduced. Xuande blue and white porcelain produced in Jingdezhen is now considered the finest of all Ming Dynasty output. On the bottom, we can see 6 Chinese characters saying produced during the reign of Emperor Xuande of the Ming Dynasty. The eggshell porcelain cup produced during the reign of Emperor Chen Hua of the Ming Dynasty in Jingdezhen was delicate and translucent, as thin as eggshell and as light as silk, with exquisite workmanship. The multicolored covered jar in fish and algae pattern produced in Jingdezhen was magnificent and eye-catching. 8 red cups were surrounded by algae and lotus leaves. There were 6 Chinese characters on the bottom, meaning produced during the reign of Emperor Jiajing of the Ming Dynasty. In the Qing Dynasty, especially during the reign of the early emperors Kangxi, Yongzheng, and Qianlong, porcelain firing technology reached the highest level in history, the climax. A new kind, enamel-painted porcelain, appeared. The enamel-painted porcelain is glazed with colorful enamels. The precious technique is monopolized by the imperial court, with the best raw material painted by professional court painters and fired in the court furnace. It is fine, glossy, and lustrous, with elaborate painting. The patterns are mostly flowers. Here is the enamel-painted porcelain reunion bottle, with red and blue background in twig pattern. The enamel-painted porcelain vase was decorated with the design of lotus blossoms and leaves. The 2 ears are in the shape of elephant trunk. Elephant is considered to be auspicious and peaceful in China. Here is the blue and white porcelain bottle with floral mouths in the pattern of Longevity Mountain and Fortune Sea. We can see peaches and bats. The peach symbolizing longevity and the bat symbolizing fortune. Fortune, wealth, longevity, and happiness are the good wishes of Chinese people. The blue and white porcelain bottle is gourd-shaped in the pattern of 8 immortals crossing the sea. The popular Chinese folklore 8 immortals crossing the sea is often used to represent those who rely on their own ability to create miracles. The Famille Rose box with an openwork lid and peony design was fired in Jingdezhen kiln in the Qing Dynasty. It is now on display in Palace Museum. Peony is symbolic of richness, wealth, and nobility. It is the king of flowers in China. Here is the familiar horse, foreign-colored hexagonal bottle with lemon yellow background and a relief of a flower and a bird. It was made during the reign of Emperor Yun of the Qing Dynasty. It was sold at around 68 million RMB at Poly Auctioneer in 2009, incredibly high. And the familiar horse plate is decorated with the pattern of flowers and butterflies. The Celadon petal-shaped Zun was made in Jingdezhen Kiln in the Qing Dynasty. It is now on show in Palace Museum. Zun was the ancient wine vessel used to contain wine. It was also the ritual vessel used in sacrificial ceremony. The tea dust glazed Zun with beast-shaped ears was fired during the reign of Emperor Qianlong of the Qing Dynasty. Imitating the shape of ancient bronzeware Zun, chic and unique, it is now kept in Palace Museum. Now shall we pay a visit to the porcelain capital, Jingdezhen. Jingdezhen is located in Jiangxi Province. It is one of the three porcelain capitals of China, together with Lilin and Dehua. Lilin is located in Hunan Province, featuring underglazed ware. Dehua is located in Fujian Province, famous for its white porcelain. During the Northern Song Dynasty, Emperor Jingde decreed all the pieces made for court to be marked made in Jingde period. Subsequently, the city changed its name from Xinping to Jingdezhen. Jingdezhen porcelain is known to be as white as jade, as bright as mirror, as thin as paper, with a bell-like sound when struck. Besides, any kind of color can be made if only nature owns. Today, Jingdezhen remains a national center for porcelain production. There are 4 traditional types of Jingdezhen porcelain. The most famous type is the blue and white porcelain. The color-glazed porcelain is fired once. It can be either monochrome or polychrome, colorful and glittering. Familiar horse porcelain is fired twice. It is overglazed, light and soft. Glowing porcelain is translucent, crystalline, and delicate. Blue and white porcelain is elegant pure, noble, and everlasting. The white porcelain is decorated with blue glaze. Cobalt oxide is requisite. Cobalt oxide turns blue with heat. Simple and natural, producing the translucent effect. Unique and artistic, blue and white porcelain is the perfect combination of traditional and modern arts, honored as the pearl of ceramic kingdom. Here is a kettle with a handle and a chrysanthemum branch pattern, now on show in Palace Museum. The blue and white plate with the pattern of dragon frolicking in the sea was fired in the Ming Dynasty. It is now on display in Palace Museum. The blue and white bottle with pierced handle in the pattern of lotus holding 8 treasures was fired during the reign of Emperor Qianlong of the Qing Dynasty. It is dignified and decent. It is now on display in Palace Museum. Blue and white porcelain is underglazed, crystal clear and everlasting, ranking the first in the 4 traditional types of Jingdezhen porcelain. The delicate glaze never fades. Color-glazed porcelain is honored as the artificial gem. It can be either monochrome or polychrome. Monochrome is single-colored, while polychrome is multicolored. It is most traditional and it is fired once. Our ancestors had produced tricolored glazed pottery in the Tang Dynasty, accumulating rich experience. The bisque refers to plain monochrome porcelain, including Celadon, black porcelain, white porcelain, and so on. Red glazed porcelain is fiery and charming. Blue glaze is fresh, chic, and thought-provoking. Here, the white porcelain is neat and delicate, with exquisite openwork. White and blue match perfectly, and the shape is tasteful and stylish. The polychrome porcelain bottles are colorful and gorgeous. Familiar rose, also called soft decorative porcelain, is famous for soft and light colors. It is overglazed and fired twice. Decorate the ready-made porcelain and fire it for the second time in low temperature to create the concave-convex effect. Under the influence of European painting, familiar rose uses light and shadow producing vivid three-dimensional effects. Familiar rules is the creation of Jingdezhen, with the flavor of Chinese painting, even watercolor and oil painting, and the strong sense of texture. The traditional glowing porcelain is rather unique. The translucent eyes are glowing and glittering, bright and limpid, with exquisite workmanship. The blue and white porcelain with translucent rice pattern is dexterous, as if ingeniously inlaid with glass. Thank you very much.